Hey guys, it's me Jeff, and I just want to throw out a random album review out there. I don't have the album on me because that's back in my room and I'm too lazy to go get it. Well, I'm gonna review one of my favorite albums I've ever listened to, and hopefully it's your guys' too. It's Icy Star's Digital Renegade, their third release off Sumerian Records, and this is an album that you should definitely check out if you're into bands like Asking Alexandria or Capture the Crown. Um, their lyrics are more, you know, you can relate to most of the lyrics than you could in previous Asking Alexandria works and Capture the Crown's debut release, Till Death. But either way, they're both very good releases, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Icy Star's Digital Renegade. Now, Digital Renegade released 2012 March. I can't remember the actual date. I didn't pre-order it. I just picked it up the day it released at my local Best Buy. So the first thing you're going to notice is it's going to sound somewhat similar to 3D. There's not going to be as many pop sounds like you heard in the End of the World Party. That I will also review those two records too. But this this album goes on the more hardcore side, kind of like how 3D was. It's going to be heavier. There's going to be more screams, more breakdowns. This is what this album really relates on: breakdowns and screams and heavy guitars, heavy drums, great bass. That's what it's going to focus on. It's not going to focus on your poppy, really a lot of electronic. There's electronic in there, but it's not going to be as much. But when I first heard the record, I was thinking, well, since I was so caught up in the End of the World Party, I love that album, and I also do love 3D. But when I was listening to it, I was just so caught up into the End of the World Party, which I couldn't really get into this record at first. I couldn't really get into Mars Attack and ZT48, Filth Friends Unite. Yet I was actually very glad that they went back to their roots from 3D. Um, this record is heavier than both their past works. Even if you wanted to combine their past works, it's still heavier. I know that makes no sense, but still. But this album, people want to say it comes off to be their greatest piece of work so far. I can agree with that, and I can't, because the End of the World Party was pretty good. I really liked that album. I don't know why people hate on it just because it's all pop. It's a great release. It's my second favorite release by them. But it was good. It came out in 2011, but we're not listening to that right now. We're not talking about it right now. We're talking about Digital Renegade. Like I said, Digital Renegade, their third release off Sumerian Records, and it's the probably the best. The best, in my opinion, it's the best. I had to give it a couple listens or two, but the more I got into the record, well, the more listens I took, the more I got in. Um, for the first track, Mars Attack, they sort of sound at the very beginning of the track. It sort of sounds like someone, I want to say, chanting, and then leads into sort of like a breakdown verse. If that makes any sense, like a verse that's like they're gonna call it a verse, but it's actually a breakdown. And then heavy guitars, you're already hearing the heaviness of the record. You already know what the record's gonna sound like when you first listen to this song. I know that I released NZT48 and Filth Friends Unite, but Nas Attacks, this song actually represents the whole entire album. You can hear it. It represents it. Then and then the Ever So Grateful NZT48. That is the fan favorite. It's my personal favorite off the record. The breakdown's so catchy and then it has that guitar. I can't really actually make the noise for it, but it's such a good guitar too. I mean, I never knew when I first heard the single. I never knew they were gonna stoop this heavy. That's not a bad thing at all either. I just didn't know. Then the chorus is catchy. Everything about this song is just good. You're gonna you're gonna love the song from start to finish. Now, my least favorite, the title track. I cannot get into the title track at all. Digital Renegade is not the song that, it's just not the song for me. I can't get into it. I mean, I feel like it's the most repetitive song off the record, and it's supposed to be the title track. The title track is supposed to describe the album, and it does that well, but I just cannot get into the record track, the title track. I can't get into it at all. I think it's one of the, I don't want to say cliche because it's not. I wanted to say something beyond the lines of repetitive and boring. That's just me. And then it's just like, I can't. There's nothing for me to talk about. I just cannot get into this track at all. And then Endless Sky featuring Jenny Worsnop, the fourth track. Why did you even include Danny? He comes in at the very end of the song. There's like no need for him to be in the song. He's at the very end, and then when he comes on, he doesn't even sound anything like himself. If that makes any sense. His screams are way too deep. It doesn't sound like him at all. Well, it's still a good song overall. It's catchy, but it's catchy. It's very heavy. It's very fast-paced. One of my personal favorites. And then you have Underneath Every Smile for the fifth track. Very good song. Very catchy too. Almost all these songs on this record are catchy, but this one caught me off guard. This song is very catchy. It's very good. It's catchy. It's heavy. Got a very good breakdown in my opinion. These guys are suckers for breakdowns. You can tell. Most every song's gonna have a breakdown in it. Either if they're bad or good, it's still gonna be a breakdown in the song either way. It could be an instrumental breakdown. It could be a vocal breakdown. It can be anything. It could be heavy guitar riffs. Anything. You're gonna find it on this record. And then the sixth song, Mystery Wall. When I first heard this song, it sounded very different, in my opinion. It sounded very different from the rest of the record. The more I started listening to it, the more I realized that it's not different. It's not a bad track, nonetheless. It's a great song. It's just, I could get into it one day, and then the next day I could utterly hate the song. The song just has to catch my ear, and has to stay there for ever, for me to really get into a song like NGT48 and Filth Friends Unite. I got really into those songs, and Mystery Wall just didn't really do that for me. But I like the song. It's not a terrible song. It's not a bad song. It's a good song. It's okay. It's not great. It's not amazing. If it's your favorite song off the record, I'm sorry that I don't really like it as much as you do. But I'm not saying it's a bad song at all. It's just I couldn't get into it that well. And then sort of like an interlude for track 7, I Believe. It's sort of just Devin in the background just singing along with some electronic tunes. I could care less for it. That's basically all what it is. And then the 8th track, Summer Died in Connorsville. I just absolutely adore this song. I don't know what it is. I just cannot, tell you enough how much I love the song. It's so good in my personal opinion. It's probably one of the best. A lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but I loved it. And then we have the ninth song, Electric Forest, featuring Cassidy Pope. Great song, great song. Now, at first it starts off very, very heavy, then leads right into, I want to say, electronic dubstep where Devin and Cassidy just start singing and stuff. That's basically the most of the song. Electric Forest. It's electronic song most of the time. And then right after that, it leads into a breakdown that basically closes off the song. And then the last track, Filth Friends Unite, everyone's personal favorite song by these guys, and I can see why. Now, if you were to introduce one of your buddies or your girlfriend or your boyfriend to Icy Stars, this is the song you want to show them. This is who Icy Stars is. This isn't in my opinion, this is not their best track, their best track, but it describes them. It's who they are, and yeah, it sounds so good. You got electronic music in there. You got great scream vocals in there. It's just so good. Now, my personal opinion of this book, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, it's not 5 out of 5. It's 10 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. It's it's their best release. You know, and I had a couple problems with with the song Digital Renegade and Mystery Wall. Like, especially Digital Renegade. I cannot get into the track at all. I keep giving it listens. I just can't get into it. I'm sorry, my dog decided to bark, and she's an idiot. So, you know. But, Digital Renegade, best record. Go pick it up if you haven't. 9.5. They're coming out with a new record this year. New Demons. You should go pick that up. They've also released the first single off that song, Violent Vows, People Like You. Alright, guys. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.